Story draft. It was past midnight, and the small town streets were almost silent, just the hum of a few cars passing by and the occasional flicker of a street lamp struggling to stay alive. Michael, a single dad in his mid-30s, had just finished his late shift at the diner. His hands smelled faintly of coffee and fried onions, and all he wanted was to get home to his little boy, tuck him in properly, and collapse on the couch. But as he cut through the park on his way home, he stopped. Right there, on a weathered wooden bench under the broken streetlight, was a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. Her tiny knees pulled up to her chest, her hair messy, her cheeks flushed from the cold night air. And beside her, sat a woman. The woman's eyes were open, but vacant. She wasn't asleep, not exactly, more like lost in a world of her own. Her clothes were wrinkled, her hands trembling slightly as she clutched an old bag in her lap. Michael froze. He'd seen homeless people before, sure, but something about the scene hit differently. Maybe because the girl reminded him of his own son, or maybe because there was something unsettling about how still the mother was. "Hey, are you two okay?" Michael's voice broke the silence, cautious, almost hesitant. The girl stirred, blinking her sleepy eyes, but the woman didn't respond. She just looked at him dazed, like she wasn't sure if he was real. For a long moment, Michael stood there. He knew what most people would do: keep walking, tell themselves it wasn't their business, that someone else would step in. But being a single parent had changed him. He knew what it was like to feel invisible, to fight battles that no one else saw. So he crouched down. "You cold?" he asked softly, looking at the little girl. She nodded, her lips pressed tight as if she was too afraid to speak. Michael pulled off his work jacket and draped it around her small shoulders. That was when he noticed the bruise peeking out from under her sleeve. His stomach twisted. He glanced back at the mother. "Ma'am, is she okay?" Finally, the woman spoke. Her voice cracked like dry leaves. She's fine. Please. We'll move soon." But she didn't move. Her hands kept trembling, and Michael realized with a chill that she hadn't eaten in a long time. The little girl, now awake, whispered something that broke his heart. "Mommy said we don't need food tonight. She said we can pretend we had dinner." Michael swallowed hard. He thought about his son waiting at home, a plate of reheated mac and cheese on the table. And here was this child, sitting on a bench, hungry, trying to be brave for a mother who looked like she was barely holding herself together. "Look," Michael said gently, "I know you don't know me. But I can't just walk away. Come with me. Just for tonight. You'll be safe." The woman shook her head quickly, fear flashing across her eyes. "No. No shelters. No police. Please." Michael realized then this wasn't just about poverty. This was about running from something. Or someone. Before he could respond, the little girl tugged his sleeve. Her whisper was shaky. "Can we just sit with you a little longer? Mommy trusts you. I can tell." Those words nearly broke him. So Michael sat down on the cold bench, right there between them. He didn't push, didn't pry. He just sat, keeping his presence steady, letting them breathe. And slowly, the mother leaned her head against the bench back, her guard lowering for the first time. Hours passed. The street grew quieter. The girl fell back asleep, this time with Michael's jacket wrapped tight around her. When dawn finally touched the sky, Michael stood and offered his hand. "There's a small diner down the street. I work there," Let me buy you breakfast. The mother hesitated. Then, with trembling fingers, she took his hand. At the diner, over pancakes and hot coffee, pieces of their story slipped out. The woman's name was Anna. She had left an abusive relationship months ago, trying to protect her daughter, Emily. They had been drifting ever since, moving from town to town, always too scared to stay anywhere long. Michael listened, his heart heavy but determined. He couldn't fix all their problems, but he could do something. And so, when his shift manager walked in later that morning, Michael did something impulsive, something that surprised even him. He asked if Anna could help with the cleaning shifts. The manager looked skeptical, but Michael insisted. He even offered to cover part of her hours until she proved herself. That was the start of something neither of them expected. Days turned into weeks. Emily started smiling more, her laughter filling the quiet corners of the diner. Anna, though fragile, began to regain a spark in her eyes. She worked hard, saved every dollar, and slowly, the fear that once haunted her face began to fade. And through it all, Michael found himself changed too. He had stepped in for one night, thinking it was just about giving a coat, a meal, a warm place to sit. But it became so much more. Because sometimes, kindness doesn't just help someone survive a night. Sometimes, it helps them start a whole new life.